Okay, today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2015. Looking at the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. Some interesting things have developed over the last 12 hours in preparation for this hurricane's northbound trek. This high pressure is now suddenly dominating the entire western part of the country. You can see that here. California is completely almost cloud-free. There's just nothing happening over California. And this is the way it always happens when we get something like this moving up into the area. They create high pressure on demand, and that's exactly what's happened here over the last 24 hours. We saw this happening in the video I made yesterday. And right here we have an electronic wall that's been set up using highly directional radar. This knife edge here, which serves as an electronic wall, is blocking this flow here. We can see this flow moving about, and it only goes as far as this Oregon and California border, which is quite interesting. We can see what happens here. The weather, the moisture flow just mushrooms into that area and goes off to the east, and then what's left comes down right into here and is quickly burned off. You can see that happening right there. All right. This is nothing new. I've seen this happen for 2 winters in a row watching these videos on satellite. Okay, so this moisture here, because of this high pressure, is now moving north to the east, sort of a north-northeast direction. And so the nightly news in Los Angeles, the weather forecast was forecasting, for a chance of thunderstorms from this giant moisture field. Well, I don't think that's going to happen, and this is the reason why. So once again, California has been gypped out of some rain, and we don't know who's doing this, but the U.S. stock markets are profiting off of it. Because weather futures are being traded on Wall Street, Chicago Climate Exchange. You can just Google this information. It's all over the place, and people are betting on the weather. And if we want to get to the bottom of this, we can find out a lot by following the money. Now, I'm going to predict that we're going to see some chemical aerosol activity over the southwest if this storm moves up near Arizona. We always see the jets up prepping the skies ahead of time if the high pressure effort does not work. Right now it looks like they may only be using the high pressure. It looks pretty effective so far, but we'll keep an eye on this. Let's look at this in rainbow mode, infrared loop. You can see what's happening here. This hurricane still has a very well-defined eye. It's just skirting right past. There's this very small island there. I forget the name of it. I think it starts with an S. Very small island with an airport. And now let's go take a look at some other shots here. This is a close-up. This storm is still being hit with some hot air downbursts. We have high pressure here to try to impede the northbound advancement, and we can see that the backside of this storm has far more moisture than the leading edge, which is moving northbound into this very dry airfield that they've set up with these transmitters. All right, so the storm here is actually in this. The temperature of this water is all right around 84 degrees, 83, 84 degrees right here, all through this whole area. And even hotter up in the Gulf of Mexico area, or rather the Gulf of California area. This water up in here is like 87 degrees. But yet this storm is weakening. Right about up here is where the water temperature really starts to change into cooler waters. And this hurricane has not moved much since this morning when it was a Cat 4. And now it's at 115 miles per hour. And you can see that the blue is quickly diminishing as this thing continues to be hit with RF, radio frequency energy. Alright, so that's still what's happening with that storm. There's the infrared loop. Here is the visible loop. Can't see a whole lot there. There just isn't a lot of evidence of downburst happening. If you go back to the infrared loop, there's just, all we can see is that there's a lot of diminishment in the core here. So they're obviously working on this. We'll just keep an eye on it. They've killed every one of these off, so we'll see something by tomorrow, I can assure you. Here's a close-up of the southwest, showing that north-northeast flow. Obviously, California is not getting any moisture right now. That could change, but I don't think it will. There's the rainbow loop for the same map. And the visible light mode. And of course the Northeast Pacific. This is an interesting feature here that I just wanted to showcase because we see this a lot. This is how they block a flow, and I've got some video from several months ago which I want to post. I have to find it in my archives, but it shows just exactly what we're seeing here. They can make a semicircular blockade. This happens to be just a straight edge here, but they can make a blockade that is actually semicircular. They've done that, and these flows will run right into that, and it looks like water running into a curb in a street. You know, it's just amazing how they do this. But that's the power of radio frequency, electromagnetic waves that are high powered. A lot of things, you can do a lot of things with high power radio frequency energy, and we're seeing that happening. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this, and meanwhile, California is pretty dry, and doesn't look like we're going to get any rain out of that hurricane. Okay, that's it. We'll do another one tomorrow.